BBC News with Sue Montgomery. Brazil's former president, Jair Bolsonaro, has described the Supreme Electoral Court's decision to ban him from public office until 2030 as a stab in the back. The court found him guilty of abuse of power. Mr. Bolsonaro said he was considering appealing. Leonardo Rocha reports.
The case was brought by one of Mr. Bolsonaro's rival parties. It was based on an event broadcast on state television last July when the then president cast doubt on Brazil's electronic voting system without showing evidence to back the fraud claims. A majority of judges ruled that his comments amounted to a serious attack on Brazilian democracy, which was only restored in the mid-80s after decades of military rule. In a deeply divided country, supporters of the left-wing President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva have mocked Mr. Bolsonaro, who once said that only God would remove him from power.
France's Interior Ministry has said more than 340 protesters have been arrested across the country on a fourth night of rioting. This includes 80 people in the country's second city, Marseille, where the mayor has asked the central authorities for police reinforcements. The violence was sparked by the shooting dead of a teenage boy by a police officer on Tuesday. A US State Department report has said the chaotic US evacuation from Afghanistan in 2021 was the result of a lack of clear decision-making and an absence of centralised crisis planning. Ian McWilliam has more details.
This internal review was a response partly to widespread public outrage at the chaos of the abrupt end of the US military mission in Afghanistan after a 20-year presence. The report said the decisions of both Presidents Trump and Biden to end the US mission seriously undermined the Afghan government, which then collapsed in days, allowing a Taliban takeover. The report praised the eventual outcome, the evacuation of 125,000 people, but said that in future situations, clear evacuation plans should be prepared beforehand and a single person should be appointed to take charge.
Police in Kenya say at least 48 people have been killed in a road accident at a busy junction. They said a lorry carrying a shipping container lost control and ploughed into other vehicles. From Nairobi, Anthony Irungu.
The tragic incident unfolded when a truck lost control and collided with public service vehicles, motorbike operators and roadside vendors. Police say the truck collided with at least 7 stationary vehicles at a bustling roadside market. Rescue operations are ongoing, but heavy rainfall has hampered efforts to rescue people trapped in the wreckage of the vehicles. The accident has raised questions about road safety and the need for stricter regulations to prevent such accidents.
World News from the BBC. A former British cabinet minister has told the BBC that the government's deal to deport asylum seekers to Rwanda risks downgrading UK foreign policy. Justin Greening's comments came after a highly critical UN report published last week concluded that Rwanda was supporting M23 rebels in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The group has been accused of mass murder, rape and displacing 1 million people. The International Monetary Fund says it's reached an agreement with the government of Haiti to assist the implementation of new economic measures aimed at improving governance and raising tax revenues. Haiti is going through an unprecedented humanitarian crisis, with much of the population experiencing acute food insecurity. Russia has introduced a ban on trucks from Poland transporting cargo in its territory. The Russian Transport Ministry said the decree didn't include critical goods such as medicines and medical devices. It said transport to Russia's Baltic enclave of Kaliningrad was unaffected. In a world first, Australia has officially begun to allow the use of magic mushrooms and MDMA as medicines. Regulators gave their approval earlier this year, but the decision is controversial, as Simon Ponsford reports.
Experts hope the newly licensed drugs will help people with mental health problems when other treatments have failed. They say MDMA, also known as ecstasy, can ease post-traumatic stress, while psilocybin, found in magic mushrooms, can tackle depression. Supporters say there's been extensive consultation and the benefits are likely to outweigh the risks. But critics are worried that Australian regulators have rushed ahead too fast. Some scientists warn there's no conclusive proof that magic mushrooms and ecstasy are safe or effective, or that there'll be enough monitoring.